Salamu alaikum. Ana ismi Taylor. Ana min Medina, Seattle. Fi Bilad, Washington. Fi Walid, America. Hi everyone. Just practicing my Arabic. No, I'm not going to translate for you. Today we have a guest with us that's going to be sharing some interesting stories with us. He is Mr. Furry. Mr. Furry is a jumping spider. Oh, what? Fine, we didn't want you to be on here anyway. Gee, some people are just rude. Anyway, so I'm going to be going over, as I said before, the second half of my first week here, and I'll do some housework at the end to explain a few things. So we'll just jump straight into it. I forgot one thing about, because this video will be dealing with the academics for the most part. One thing I forgot to talk about was two events that happened before classes started. The first was on Monday during orientation, or was it Friday? I don't know. It's I know a big difference in time. But during orientation, the freshmen had arrived, all 200 plus something of them, and they met here in this building. Actually, let me show you this building. This is the auditorium. It's probably the most beautiful building on campus. That's what it looks like. I'll eventually show all of you the interior of it, whether it's through pictures or what have you. It's just an amazingly architectured building, and the inside is equally as beautiful. Anyway, so they met here. I think I might have accidentally squished our guest, but oh well, he didn't want to be in this video anyway. So anyway, the freshmen met here for speeches given by the president of the university, one of the deans, or the vice president of the university, and by an alumni of the university. And it was a lot of people. I mean, this auditorium probably is meant to have about 350 to 400 people in it, and it was packed, even with faculty, students and parents, and even us international students. So the president gave a very good speech. Funny enough, in the middle of it, he addressed us international students in English, because English is the official language of teaching here on campus. And it was pretty good. It made us feel very welcomed. During all the speeches, they had everything in English up on a projector screen, and it was good. It was a very nice speech. After that, on Monday, they had a concert night with one of the more well-known Moroccan musics here called Chiabi. It's a mixture between modern Moroccan music and traditional, and it went on for hours and hours. The music was very good, though. It was very nice. It had a great rhythm, great tempo, and it would be hard for most people not to get into it. Even a lot of the American international students were dancing around. I, of course, because I have very sensitive hearing, I had to sit in the lobby, and people were asking me, "Why are you sitting in the lobby? Why aren't you dancing?" And there were people actually trying to drag me to dance, and I said, no, I have very sensitive hearing. I can't be in there. It's very painful for me. And they understood, and they let me be. But I really wish I could have gone and danced in there, because everyone was having a lot of fun, and it was good music and all that. But and Grampy, you would understand this. You don't mic every single instrument, and you have the volume up put full blast for every single instrument. But that's what they did, and it was very loud. You could hear it all the way 50 feet to 100 feet away. You could hear the music clearly from outside the building. Anyway, so going on to the main part of this video, which was the academic portion of it. Now, I call this week the week of great change because there was not one day that went by that something happened in my classes that involved something change in the syllabus or a change in the meeting times or the locations, and I'll explain that class by class. The first class I had was my Beginning Arabic 1 class, and it was all international students, obviously. So we were all sitting there, and the professor comes in, and the first thing out of her mouth is, we're going to split everyone here into 4 sections, and you're all going to meet at different times and different locations for everything. And this was on Wednesday. This was Wednesday at 8 in the morning. So we were all, okay. But she decided to try and teach us things and give us homework anyway. Most of us were concerned because we couldn't figure out, well, where are we moving, who's going to be our professor, who's teaching us, how are we going to learn, etc., etc. So after that class, we were very concerned. And I only have 2 classes on Monday and Wednesday, and then 2 other classes on Thursday and Friday. My Beginning Arabic class meets, well, it now meets at 9 to 9:50 Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But we'll, and between every class, every day, aside from Friday, I have over a 4-hour break between classes, so it's very nice. So on Wednesday, I went and I hung around with people. I went to the cafe and I had some more Moroccan tea. It wasn't as good as the one I had in Azuru, but it was passable. So, and I went to my other class, which was U.S. and the Middle East. Very nice professor, very energetic. Tried to get the class involved in as much as possible. But again, mostly international students. Which is very interesting in my perspective, because I would think that a lot of Moroccans would be interested to see exactly how things are settled between the U.S. and the Middle East. But I think they have an understanding of that more than Americans do. So the class went very nice. It went very nice, and I did my homework, and then I went and hung around with international students, and also just went in my room and went to sleep. That was the other thing I forgot to mention. For this first week, I had a hard time sleeping. Not just for fighting jet lag, but because everyone here decides that they want to stay up till 2 in the morning. Which is bad because everyone is currently wearing sandals, and every building and even the apartments and the dorms are tiled, and everything echoes very loudly. And we had thunder and lightning storms the first couple of days, and it rained, and I had a hard time sleeping, to the fact where I was literally laying in my bed going, why? Anyway, so yeah, and I finally got some earplugs, and those have helped out tremendously. Anyway, on to Thursday. Thursday was also a day of great change, because, for what happened in my second class. So I went and had my Intro to African Politics class with a visiting professor who has worked with the UN for the last 25 years. Very insightful, very intelligent, very well versed in sub-Saharan Africa. Also to the fact that he's been working with the United Nations Human Resource Development Corps for years. He was actually involved in the cleanup with what happened in the genocide in Rwanda, so he's seen things. He's seen things, man. He knows things. But again, very intelligent professor, very well known. Very knowledgeable, I guess is the better word I'm looking for here. And again, mostly international students. So I'm seeing a trend here that most of the things that international students are involved in, most Moroccan students aren't. But I'll talk about that at the end of this clip. So anyway, after that good class, I had lunch, and then I went to my what is supposed to be right now the most challenging class of mine, the Politics of Empire class, which is a class that deals with all the colonialism and the various empires and humanity and stuff like that. Very interesting if it wasn't for the fact that the professor has a focus on the European Union and its effects on modern international relations, because Europe is his focus. So it's going to be very challenging because everything we do in the class has to relate back to the European Union. Anyway, so the first thing he opens up with class is that, okay, the time and location on your syllabus is wrong. We are going to be meeting from 12:30 to 1:50 in this room on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So ignore what your current syllabus says. And I'm just like, great, more moving around. Why? But there's only 5 of us in the class, so it's not anything. It's not a big trouble, and it runs nicely with. It gives me 45 minutes to go and either eat or go and grab a quick snack or something like that after my Intro to African Politics class. Anyway, so after that, again, more of the same, meaning hanging out with international students and going to sleep and yada yada yada. Friday rolls around. I go to my beginning Arabic class. She told us on Wednesday by Friday we were going to be split up. She was truthful. So we get split up. I get thrown into the 9 o'clock class with about 7 to 12 other students. And we get a professor, Professor Abdullah Chirifi. I'll get his last name right one of these days. Anyway, so he's writing his own book about how to teach people Arabic. And his method is a dual way of teaching you how to say things and phrases and words you should know, and teaching you outside of class, you learn the alphabet and grammar and everything like that. So in the original class of mine, she said by the end we should have a command of the alphabet and know over 200 words. Well, in his class, we're going to have a command of the alphabet and know over 1,000 words. So he's basically he opened the class by saying, what are your expectations? And we all told him what our expectations are. And at the end of the class, he said, now remember, you have expectations. I'm going to hold you to those. The in between the lines was his way of saying, I'm going to ride you like a bunking bronco into the sunset with an explosion behind me. And that's what he's doing. He's said on numerous times, I'm challenging you, I'm forcing you to adapt, I'm throwing you out into the middle of the ocean and expecting you to swim, because this is how I'm trying to make it go in my book. And as bad and as painful as a process it has been so far, it's been working. I mean, I'm learning Arabic at a surprisingly fast rate, faster than I was learning it in Rosetta Stone. By the way, Rosetta Stone works for all Germanic and Latin-based languages. Not good for anything else. It does not teach you, it doesn't explain conjugation or anything like that. I think either next video or the video after that, I will explain how the Arabic language is structured to my current understanding and vocab and the alphabet a little bit. But anyway, so after that was on Friday, I get back and I pretty much have just said to my roommate, from now on, I'm just describing my Arabic classes. It's intense. Every day is intense because that's how it has been. So, anyway, Friday rolls along and Saturday rolls along. I really don't do anything aside from sit on my computer and watch videos and stuff like that. On Sunday, I finally go into Ifran, and I go to the marché with a group of people, and we walk around and stuff, and we have dinner and everything. Very expensive dinner. It was about 45 dirhams, which is way more expensive for spaghetti. So that's what I had. Granted, in hindsight, given the dollar value, it might not seem that expensive, but I've learned the concept that you have to you have to do things in Morocco as a Moroccan. So if a Moroccan wouldn't pay that much, don't expect to pay that much as a tourist. Same as you would go anywhere else in the world. Anyway, so my one big thing that I did in town, I didn't get my phone, a Moroccan phone, unfortunately, because I didn't have anyone there to translate for me and to help me haggle the rates and all that. But I did find a barber. Thank God I found a barber. Well, I found 3 barbers, but I went there and I got my face clean shaven with a straight razor, and my face has never been smooth as it was before recently. It's the smoothest I've ever had it since starting to grow facial hair, and it was smooth for for up until 2 days after the shave. It was remarkable. I loved it. But anyway, so I'm glad I found that there, and I'll go there when my hair gets longer and when I need haircuts and so on and so forth. Anyway, so that's how my first week concluded. Really was with food and a shave. Went back and did homework and all that, and then slept, and then transitioned to next week, and that video will be coming out on Sunday. Anyway, so I figured I will end these videos of mine with something about Morocco or something about Arabic or something substantial that I learned today or while I've been here. And then after that with some housekeeping and cleanup and just announcements and things like that. So anyway, so as for the culture, I'll talk about just the Moroccan lifestyle in general. It's a very laid-back society, very laid-back culture. Most people work from, I don't know, about 9 or 10 to 3 every day, and then they usually just relax. They go to a cafe or they meet somewhere in town, and they walk around and talk with each other and meet with each other and drink tea and coffee. Very laid back. Just it's a very relaxed and leisurely culture. There's a saying that Moroccans are never rushed, which is true. You can just look at events on campus to know that to be true. On campus, if they say an event is at 8:30, that means arrive at 8:30, but the event will not start until 9. So everyone usually takes their time to get somewhere, or they take time doing something. It's a very time-oriented society and culture. They're not rushed. They don't feel rushed. They don't feel the need to do things in a hurry. And that's something I like about the culture, is that it's in a great contrast to a lot of American and European and Asian cultures in that they actually take time to enjoy life in comparison to like in the U.S. where we're all so busy that we hardly have any free time to ourselves, or by the end of the day all we want to do is sleep or drink. Where here they end their workday early and they have time to enjoy life. But then again, I guess difference of cultures, and difference of economies and social structures and everything like that. But either way, it's something I like about the culture here. It's very good. And it's actually probably, arguably, the most modern and moderate Islamic culture. Most women here do not wear the veil. Most of them, I mean, a lot of the younger women don't even wear traditional clothing. They go out in and granted it's still modest by Islamic standard. It's very hijab, but even still, it's very Western. It's very modern in their dress code, and with just how they treat the interactions between younger generations and older generations and things like that. So it's ultimately it's a very moderate culture, very down the road and centered. But that's because they've had centuries and centuries and centuries of European interaction and trade and all that, because Morocco is the gateway to Africa, as it has been known and as it was known to Europeans. So in that sense, they've become very friendly, very open, very warm to tourists, to people who are not Moroccans. And they're just overall very nice, very laid back, very moderate people. And they're very curious, very, very curious. They will sit down and talk to you for hours about everything under the sun: politics, religion, culture, technology, TV shows, movies, etc., etc. I mean, that's what happens between me and my roommate. If we start talking about something, we'll go on for hours. So that's just something that's in their culture. They're a very talkative culture. They're very interactive. They're very personal and very warm and welcoming. So overall, I mean, if you want to go somewhere in the Middle East and in North Africa, that's not a bad place to be. Morocco is really it. A place where you don't have to be afraid to walk down the street and have something happen to you. I mean, yes, obviously be cautious, but it's not that bad. It's not that bad. I really, really, really like it here. Anyway, so that's it for the cultural segment, and then just for announcements, one announcement is that I'll just be structuring the videos like this from now on, where I'll start with how my week went, then something about the culture, or something interactive, or something significant that happened to me, and then just announcements. So that's number one. Number two, I apologize for how long it took me to get the first video up. There was a lot of technical difficulties trying to get that up onto Facebook. And they said they won't accept a video that's more than 1,407 megabytes, which pretty much means that the first video would have to be in 10 parts. And then YouTube said, well, your account isn't verified, so we need to call or send you a text message with the code. And it was just a pain. But luckily I've gotten it bypassed. And I have everything working now, so these videos will be able to go up weekly. So again, I apologize for that. And also, as you can tell, this video won't be as good as the first one. I'm gonna try to improve my camera holding and my filler words, and just ultimately make the videos better quality and more worth watching, so it doesn't seem so amateuric. I'm not going to do the Rick Steves thing, but I at least want to make it enough that it's bearable. So, and this is pretty much it. That's it for announcements. Just, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you look forward to future ones. And also, just tell me what you want to hear here for the most part, aside from those three things, or how you want me to do the videos and stuff like that. Just let me know and give me feedback. All right, everyone. Alaikum salam.